In the heart of Washington, D.C., an ultra-powerful group of people have dominated American foreign policy for the last 2 decades.
Because the earlier you strike, the more damage you can do. Weapons of mass destruction.
The transition to democracy in Syria has begun, and it's time for Assad to get out of the way.
The only way you beat an army is with another army. Are you for invading Iraq? Yeah, I guess so. I wish the first time it was done correctly.
But I don't think you should assume that Iran is too big to have regime change.
We will, in fact, be greeted as liberators.
They are called the neoconservatives. Their program was laid out in the 1900s in a document called The Project for the New American Century. Its goal is to maintain and extend America's status as the world's sole superpower. Oh, and it also says we must destroy any rival that stands in our way. Through both Democratic and Republican administrations, the neocons have implemented their plans through a series of coups, regime change wars, proxy wars, bombings, assassinations, and covert operations. These are what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. calls the Forever Wars.
Made us enemies across the globe, left us bankrupt at home.
So what does he mean by forever?
America's actions are legal, so this is a just war.
President Donald Trump authorized a drone strike at Baghdad International Airport last night.
The Biden administration giving Ukraine permission now to strike inside parts of Russia with American-made weapons for the first time.
The United States has been embroiled in one military conflict after another continuously since 9/11, and none of them ever succeeds.
Foreign military occupations breed violent insurgencies. The shootings, the torture, the general chaos helped drive thousands of Iraqis, especially from the minority Sunni community, into the arms of radical groups led by brutal gangsters such as Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the same groups, Al-Qaeda in Iraq, ISI, that would later coalesce into ISIS.
And not to mention the cost. The cost of the regime change wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and Libya just since 9/11 was $8 trillion. That would be enough to make Social Security solvent for another generation, make higher education free for all Americans, provide free childcare for every family, or completely modernize America's infrastructure. But instead, we squandered that $8 trillion on vain fantasies of world domination. And Presidents Trump and Biden were fully on board with the neocon agenda. For example, Trump appointed arch-neocon John Bolton as National Security Advisor.
So I think we're down to basically 2 other options. One is regime change in Tehran, and the other is the targeted use of military force against aspects of Iran's nuclear weapons program.
And as for President Biden, he has taken every opportunity to escalate the Ukraine war. Many don't remember this, but he scuttled a peace deal that Russia and Ukraine negotiated in Istanbul in April of 2022. Shortly after the war began. And we are now, under this administration, closer to World War III than we have been since the Cuban Missile Crisis.
It's not only America that's fallen into this simplistic good guy, bad guy thinking. That's the example we've set for everybody in the world. No wonder it's been replicated everywhere, between Israel and Iran, between India and Pakistan, between Shia and Sunni, between Jew and Arab, between Hindu and Muslim, left and right. This tribalistic, us versus them thinking is tearing us apart. And it's...
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will utterly transform American foreign policy. He will end the forever wars and make peace the top priority of the United States. He will bring the trillions home to restore a prosperous middle class. He will transition America out of the neocon fantasies of full-spectrum dominance into a multipolar world. He'll restore the military to its proper function, the defense of the American homeland. He believes that the country is ready to turn its attention and resources toward rebuilding our strength from the inside out. And that is why Robert F. Kennedy Jr. invites any American, whether you support him or not, to join him in signing a pledge. We're calling it the End the Forever Wars Pledge. Please join us and click the link in the description to add your name to our pledge. And together, we can secure peace overseas and prosperity for our people here at home.